Hey, look. The sun comes up in about 10 minutes. Everything will warm up, and then there really will be zero complaints. But it is gorgeous. But you guys all are wearing long sleeves, but no complaints at all. Great crowd hanging with us today. Doug Gottlieb, Brian Westbrook. We have an incredible show lined up for you over the course of the next 3 hours. Stay with us. We are going to get to Patrick Mahomes in just a second. Before we do, though, you got to check out these Super Bowl first. Oh, it's so fun to go back and watch these again. This is Super Bowl 32. Hall of Famer Terrell Davis becoming the first player to have 3 rushing touchdowns in Super Bowl history. How about this? TD was the last running back to win Super Bowl MVP.
And you got to keep in mind the context of it. The Packers and Brett Favre are going for their second Super Bowl. They're the big favorites. You think they might have a little miniature dynasty starting there. Instead, this was the first of 2 for those Denver Broncos led by that engine, Terrell Davis.
It seemed like this was a game where TD got a little blurry vision, went out before the half, came back 30 carries. I mean, that's impressive.
Unbelievable.
All right, moving on. How about Super Bowl 52? Tom Brady became the first quarterback in Super Bowl history to throw for over 500 yards. The Patriots ultimately came up short, but Brady's 505 passing yards and 3 touchdowns will forever be remembered, Doug.
They didn't punt. But that, right? You lose and you don't punt. Did have some turnovers, missed field goal, and Brady made a bad read on his last throw, but to not punt and lose the Super Bowl sounds crazy.
Well, and I believe Brady broke his own record in that game that he had set the previous year in the comeback against Atlanta when he almost threw for 500.
He also dropped a surefire touchdown, which would have
That's right. That's before Philly special.
That's right.
All right, in Super Bowl 34, Hall of Famer Kurt Warner led the greatest show on turf to a Super Bowl win over the Titans. Warner became the first undrafted quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
I was at that game as a little kid, and you thought that when you watched that Rams team have that magical season completed at the end, stopping the Titans to 1-yard line, you would have, I was, how old was I? 13 years old, so I was probably already gambling. I would have bet a lot of money that the Rams were going to win multiple Super Bowls. They end up getting back 2 years later, losing to the Patriots, who become, of course, the team that wins multiple Super Bowls.
Greatest collection of offensive talent in the Super Bowl on that Rams team right there.
Until Sunday.
Isaac Holt, Oz Hakeem, Torrey,
Marshall Faulk.
Torrey Holt, sorry, Isaac Bruce,
all of it.
Oz Hakeem, and of course Marshall Faulk.
But it's what everybody says. Don't take for granted getting to the Super Bowl. You never know when you're going to back. All right, time for in or out. Here we go. Jimmy Garoppolo is coming off a game where he completed just 6 passes, but he will surely have to do more if he wants to keep pace with the Chiefs' offense. Brian Westbrook, start with you. You in or out on Jimmy Garoppolo being able to carry the Niners to Super Bowl 54 win?
I'm in. There's been so many people that have talked bad about Jimmy G because he only completed 6 passes. Well, it wasn't like he attempted 30 passes and only completed 6. Right. He only attempted 8. And so at that point, I still have faith in him. My faith has never really wavered at all. I also have a bunch of faith in Kyle Shanahan and his ability to scheme up things to allow Jimmy G to throw the ball to wide open tight ends and wide open receivers. I have no problem with Jimmy G. Hopefully, for his sake, he doesn't have to throw the football. But if he does, I think that he can get it done.
Look, I'm in, okay? We have a very, very limited sample size. New Orleans on the road this year. He was spectacular in a shootout against a very good defense in a hostile environment. His first year when he first got to San Francisco and they go on a winning streak, worst team in football, beat a couple playoff teams and showed some good leadership. But let's be honest, we got no idea, right? Nobody's got any. Like the last big game he played in, he lost to Towson in the FCS playoffs.
Well, watch it now. Watch it. I'm Villanova.
I'm just saying, we got no idea. Like, we're going on, we think he'll be fine, but this is the world's, or at least America's, biggest sporting event. I got no idea, but I think he's going to be okay.
Well, it is the world's biggest sporting event, and I think the stage might be a little too big for him. I am out. If we are ranking strength of the San Francisco 49ers, how many names or how many position groups do we list before we say Jimmy Garoppolo? You would say their front 4. Then you'd probably say their head coach. Then you'd say their offensive line. You might then say their tight end, then their collection of running backs. Now we get to Jimmy Garoppolo. If he's your 6th or 7th best facet of your team, he's not one that can carry you to a championship over a red-hot Chiefs team. So it's not that they can't win, but they can't win on the right arm of Jimmy Garoppolo. I am out.
All right, moving on. Patrick Mahomes will be going up against Nick Bosa. Bosa may be just a rookie, but he is part of a fearsome front 4 for the Niners. Brian Westbrook, you in or out on San Francisco's front four slowing down Patrick Mahomes?
I'm in. I think I'm in on this. The question is, how much can they slow him down? Can they slow him down from their 10 possessions to only getting touchdowns on 4? If they can do that, then they have a chance of winning. If they say you're going to get 6 touchdowns on those 8 possessions, 10 possessions, then the game is over. This San Francisco defense is very good. They're the second best defense on third down, so I think they can find a way to get to the quarterback. The big question for them is going to be, how can they do on first and second down? If they can make it 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, they have a great chance of getting to the quarterback. Mahomes has to throw the ball down the field and hold the ball to do it. If they can't do that on first and second down, they're going to have trouble.
You guys know Admiral Akbar's famous line?
No.
Star Wars trilogy? No. It's a trap! You're all walking into the same trap we've walked into time and again, okay? The big offense, the great arm, all the talent. What's the cliche? Defense wins championships, right? The New England Patriots walked in with 50 touchdown passes, and the New York Giants, front four, without the need of sending somebody, got home enough to rattle Tom Brady. Even the Falcons were up 28-3. Why? Because they got home with 4 to rattle Tom Brady. You go through it, and when the Broncos walked in to New York, right, with that vaunted offense against the Seahawks got home with 4. Yes, they can rattle Pat Mahomes. He will make turnovers. He had turnovers last year against the Pats, the biggest game of the year against the Rams. He will throw it to the other team, especially when pressured. Every quarterback is different when you got people at your feet, and this is the best front four in football. They'll get home. They will change this game.
Yeah, I'm out. Is Patrick Mahomes healthy, Jenna?
Patrick Mahomes is healthy.
Is Tyreek Hill playing?
Tyreek Hill is playing.
Well, then no one's ever slowed him down under those circumstances. It's never happened. So maybe the
Chargers beat them last year in Kansas City.
The Chargers beat them last year in Kansas City in a game when they had 28 points and a 14-point lead with 4.5 minutes left, and they lost with 1 second left on a 2-point conversion.
They still lost the game.
I'm not saying they haven't beaten. They've been beaten when they're healthy, but not because the offense slowed down, because the defense was worse, because there were other things at play. When they lost this year, they scored 32 against Tennessee. The last game they lost this season, the only game they lost with healthy Patrick Mahomes. It's not that the Chiefs can't be beaten. They have never lost a game since Patrick Mahomes has been there. When he's been healthy, they've had Tyreek Hill. They've never lost a game when it's been because the offense didn't score enough. It's because they scored 51 and lost. They scored 40 and lost. They scored 31 and lost in a playoff game. So it's not that the Niners can't win, but they're not going to win because they do to Patrick Mahomes what the Giants did to Tom Brady. That's not going to happen.
So you're...
I said it. I'm out. I said I started it.
Of course, you already knew that, John.
I just wanted to hear him say. Tom Brady's former teammate, Rob Gronkowski, said he believes Tom Brady should explore free agency this offseason, saying Brady should, quote, see what's out there. Brian, you in or out on Brady exploring free agency?
I'm in. I'm all for players saying, I've been in one place for 19 years, and now I just want to see what's out there, see if there's other suitors, see if there's another girl out there that may like me. I'm okay with that. I think that in the end, he should absolutely return to New England and get back to what he knows best up there in Gillette Stadium. But I'm absolutely in on allowing the quarterback like Tom Brady, who's the greatest of all time, to say, I'm going to explore a free agency.
Okay.
So if he explores, but he goes back to New England, does he say that we were on a break?
Yes.
We were on a break.
Jenna and Doug are the perfect storm of 90s references.
It was good, right? It was really good.
Oh, my God.
Really good. Sorry.
I got happy. I thought it was
about
a
that one in the
sports
car
reference.
over by myself. It's like friends reference. Anyway, fine. Look around. I do think that he needs to understand the answer may not be the one he thought. Like, people are like, well, Tom Brady is the most accomplished, the greatest quarterback of all time, so you're going to give him a bunch of money. Like, why? What? Maybe the Chargers do because they're trying to save this thing because it's a disaster. Nobody's buying tickets, even though they got a great team and a well-run organization in terms of their actual personnel. But if you're going to go play for the Chargers, I said it before, like the Chargers are maybe the 6th most popular NFL team in Los Angeles. The Raiders are the most popular team. Then probably
Rams,
the Steelers.
Cowboys, Steelers.
Cowboys,
Yep.
Then Steelers, then Packers, then maybe Rams, then maybe Chargers, but we haven't even stacked USC, the Lakers, the Dodgers. I mean, all ahead of them. You're going to go do that with your brand, and then, like, who's going to pay you all that money? You're going to work for, you're going to work for Mark Davis with that bowl haircut and go into Las Vegas? They've been to the playoffs once.
But you're in,
Once
right?
in the last, what?
But you're in.
Go ahead, look around,
Yeah.
but you might not get the answer you're looking for.
Maybe you won't, but I'm in as well. And to use Brian's analogy and kind of your friend's analogy as well, sometimes someone says to you, we should take a break. And at the end of the break, they're like, we should get back together. And you say, well, actually, now that I see what my full options
I
are,
like it out there.
I appreciate the offer, but no, I'm good where I'm at. I think Tom Brady is going to go out and see, okay, I've been in boot camp for 20 years. Maybe a little summer camp would be nice in Vegas or in Southern California, in a place where I am treated like I am the greatest football player ever, not just one of 53. I'm in on him exploring free agency, and I think he plays for a different team next year.
Bowl haircuts don't pay a lot of money?
Mark Davis.
Okay, just making sure.
He's got his own style.
Pay a lot of money.
Oh, that's a
Pay a lot of
style.
money.
Time to talk Super 6 for Super Bowl 54. Terry Bradshaw is guaranteeing a $200